now we can see that this continue reading box is right back into our home page. This continue reading box is back into our category page, and the exact same thing could be said for this archive page here, others archive page, where we can see that the continue reading box is present. So up to this it is okay, but what about if we wish to make some changes? For say, instead of button primary, we wish to use the class button secondary. First of all, if we change this class name into secondary, button secondary instead of button primary. Now we wish, after reloading it, we can see that the button has not changed. It is now using a class of button secondary. But if we click on this sample page, we can see that the continue reading box, it is practically using the same old button class of button primary. Now this is a problem. Each time, anytime, whenever we wish to make some changes here, all we need to do, we need to make these changes in 3 places right over here. The first one is into this content.php page. The second one is into this category page, and the third one is into this archive page. Now this is a very problematic part, because we practically in real life cannot make these things happen. This is a very misuse of programming. We are practically coding a lot. Like, I wish to make a change in a particular place, and immediately that change will be taking place everywhere, wherever it is being used. So this kind of theory doesn't go pleasant with this particular thing. So that is why we will be doing it in some alternative way. Instead of placing them all gathered into this index.php, so instead of putting them assembled into this particular place in this disoriented manner, first of all we need to categorize them as we did earlier. We had practically used this get template part where we had created some individual default pages, and then we had used them, called them into our index.php page. So this is the exact same thing that we are practically going to do. We are about to create a category page for these category pages here, and then we are going to create an archive page for this individual archive pages here. So these are the first things. Those should be done right over here to our extreme left control panel, and here inside this template we will be creating a new file which is known as category.php. Have a recheck here. This spelling, it is very important. Category.php. Okay, no problem with it. Now that we have created this page, we will be heading back to this index.php page, and we are about to copy everything that we have put right over here. So first of all, just copy it, cut this code from here. Let's get back to our project and reload, and we can see that there's practically nothing except this blue colored continue reading box, because we had placed nothing into this category page so far. So we will be heading back right over here, and first of all let's put it here. Head back to content page. This is the content page. We'll be copying everything from here, getting back to category page, some tags. Now another thing, we may close it right over here, or we may not. This is due to the fact that by default it is going to put this ending tag right over here of this PHP code, and I would be better suggesting to not to use this kind of closing tags right over here, because you don't know, anytime it could throw some kind of error, something like initials are not sent properly, or headers were sent earlier, or this kind of errors into our page. It could be or it could not be, but this is the possibility always if we put this ending tag right over here. So it would be better to not to use this kind of ending tag after your project. And here all we are going to do, we are going to use this individual div class container, where we will be using this div class row here. Then comes the div class called LG12. In a similar fashion, we need to close them off. Now if we get back to our project and reload, we can see that this is ineffective. Actually, I was expecting this, because we have made all those changes right over here, but did we mention to call them into our index.php? We didn't. So this is what we need to do right over here. We need to copy them from this page. We need to paste it right over here, and then we need to change this category name, because this is the category page which should be in use into our category. This is the problem that we made earlier. Reload, and we can see that we are back into its order. And another thing that we need to change right over here, it is practically got crossed out of my site. This is a different class name which is been represented here. So press Ctrl S, and we can see that actually this is the result. We have created this container class, we have redefined this particular thing right over here. All of them are centrally aligned and into a better place. So if we now head back to this home page, and if we head back to this subtle category, we can see that this subtle category and the same thing should be observed in case of an archive page.